Now moving on, and there's been a quiet revolution at Canberra's RSPCA shelter. It started 5 years ago with new CEO Michael Linky. His message was surprising, yet simple. Let's stop the killing. Many pounds and shelters euthanise animals after a month, barely enough time to find them a new home. Well, that's no longer the case in the ACT. RSPCA Canberra has committed to rehousing every healthy animal, no matter how long it takes or how great the demand on facilities, staff and resources. Chris Kimball reports.
Between 5,500 and 6,000 animals a year come through the shelter. It's about 1,600 dogs, almost 3,000 cats and 700 to 800 other animals, so rabbits, guinea pigs. Then you've got horses, goats, sheep and those type of animals that come through the shelter. 2 crabs came through the shelter last year and we found homes for 2 hermit crabs. So we found a home for a spider once, I homed 10 fish once.
That's a lot of happy customers. The RSPCA shelter is a positive place today, both for the animals and the staff. But there's a collective shudder when you mention the bad old days when killing healthy animals was common practice.
Got a couple of little 4-week-old kittens here. They came in with their mother as strays. 5 years ago, these kittens would have been considered too small to keep and would have been euthanased upon arrival.
To make room for all the dogs that were coming in, as they came in, we just had to euthanase dogs to make those kennels free. So we were pretty much euthanasing dogs every day.
Fireworks weekend was a classic example. The week before fireworks, staff were instructed to pick animals for euthanasia because we might get 50 dogs in as a result of fireworks, and that's just totally outrageous to me.
Do you describe that as the bad old days?
It certainly is the bad old days, definitely. I worked here in the vet clinic, involved with a lot of the euthanasias, and it was very difficult, very stressful.
The difference between then and now was then euthanasia was the first choice. It was the first tool that we turned to, or the organisation turned to get an outcome for an animal. Now it's the last choice. So my first day, as an example, 5 puppies were surrendered and they were sent straight to the vet clinic for euthanasia. No assessment, no consideration about any health issues, no work with these puppies, and it just sickened me and I said, what's going on? Never again is this going to happen.
Michael Linky doesn't quite consider himself the saviour of Canberra's strays.
Why would you work anywhere else? Why would you work anywhere else?
But the staff say he was the catalyst for a significant policy shift 5 years ago.
With the arrival of Michael, we've been able to change all these euthanasia procedures that were here previously. It certainly improves everyone's attitude about coming to work and being here and making it such a great place to be, because we get the best outcomes possible for the majority of the animals that come here.
So, I say to my staff, we're in the business of saving lives. That's what we do. So it's not about killing. Euthanasia is the last resort available. If it takes us 2 years to find a home for a dog, so be it. It'll take me 2 years to find a home, to find that right owner. The dog will live here, it'll have a wonderful life, we'll have volunteers walking it every day, interaction with staff every day, it'll great diet, great veterinary care, great place to live. Why would you kill it after 28 days or 30 days?
That commitment has meant fundamental changes to animal management practices and massive pressure on facilities and resources.
There's probably 150 things that we've done differently that have all added up to this macro change that have allowed us to say any animal can stay here for as long as it likes and every healthy animal goes home. It's been difficult in parts, but in terms of culture with the staff, it's been easy. When I started, the staff were ready for this new world. They were ready, they were eager to stop the killing.
But stopping the killing has left the organisation's finances on life support. The operating budget has almost tripled and is being sustained by constant fundraising. Operationally, they're now smarter with when and how they take in animals. They have surrender waiting lists and foster homes and have turned to technology to help find the right home for the right pet.
It's really important. A lot of people just don't have time during the day. They spend their time online, outside of business hours, on weekends, and they're looking for information on how to find that perfect animal to join their family. So we make it easy for people. We explain to them the sort of animal that will suit their lifestyle. We give them, all of our animals are online to view with descriptions about them.
That website gets more than 800,000 page hits a year, and volunteer interaction and donations have never been higher. But 5 years since the euthanasia changes were made, the RSPCA still has something of an image problem.
It's usually the first question that I get asked when people find out that I work at the RSPCA. They say it must be such a difficult job, seeing all the animals put to sleep, and it's great because I get to explain to them that it's simply not the case.
A lot of people still think there are time limits. We don't have any time limits here on the animal. As long as they're coping here in the shelter environment, they stay here until they're adopted.
So the RSPCA is now a happy halfway home. Michael Linky's next push is for changes to regulation to reduce the number of animals abandoned or surrendered.
There's dozens of things that people can do, that governments can do, that communities can do. Low-cost dissecting is one example, encouraging people to dissect their animals at an early age so that we don't have future litters. Regulation, you know, the access of pets in the community is so easy. People can go to the newspaper and get a new cat or a new dog for free, undissexed, unmicrochipped. They can go to a pet store, hand over their $800, no advice, no encouragement, just here's your new fluffy puppy, away you go.
How does this place stack up internationally in terms of placing animals and animal welfare?
Well, we're at the head of the pack internationally. In America recently they awarded the best shelters for homing rates. The homing rates were 93% for dogs and 75% for cats. That's the level that we're at. So on an international standard, we're in the top 1 to 2% of shelters.
Is it disturbing to realise that those animal practices still go on in many, many shelters all over Australia and the world?
Well, we've certainly proven here that you don't need to do it. We've got a very good rehoming rate, and I'm sure if the other shelters wanted to follow through, they'd be able to home a lot more animals than what they're doing currently.
If you work at RSPCA and you wear the uniform with pride, take responsibility for the animals here, come up with innovations, come up with strategies to get them into homes. And 5 years down the track we're doing it, and we'll continue to do it.